Put that coffee down.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
How'd you get the gig? Oh, you know, they were hiring. It was only a 2-week course.
I will sell this house today.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent? Oh, he's a realtor. There is a difference somehow.
This is Multiple Offers, a real estate show.
All right, so we're going to get into our main topic here today, and this is all going to be about how do you actually interview a realtor and what your objectives should be. Now, we've done episodes in the past about how to pick a realtor. I can't remember the episode number, but the title, it was one of the really early ones. And it was,
I think it was episode 7, Sleepless in New Westminster, when dating or when hiring a realtor is like dating.
Perfect. Thank you, Fact Matt. So if you want to know how to find a realtor, maybe go back and listen to this episode. This is going to be more like, okay, you've got some contenders in mind. How do you choose and how do you narrow it down?
And what questions to ask.
And if you're really missing our movie title related references, let Geoff know and he can keep thinking of those, or I'll just keep titling them exactly what the show is.
Yeah, send your feedback to feedback@morealestateshow.com. We should sneak some more movie references in once in a while. They're hard, though, to come up with on a consistent
So fun
basis.
for the first 6 episodes.
Yeah. Okay, well, why don't we start with what not to do? So you've got maybe a realtor in mind or a few realtors that you've decided that you're going to interview, and you're thinking about, well, how do I pick? And I think, and let me know if you guys agree with me here, that one of the biggest pitfalls is just picking the realtor who tells you the highest price they can sell your home for. Like, whoever can get me the most money, that's the guy. Why would that be a bad idea?
Well, because we all know that. we know that some of you are thinking that.
So the realtors know that
the realtors know that that many sellers may be considering that I want to hire you based on which of the 2 or 3 of you suggest the highest price.
Right.
Which means the agent, in motivation to just get the listing and get to work with you, is going to tell you an inflated price.
Do we have a term for that in the industry?
Buying the listing.
Yeah. And I think too, a seller would say, well, why would a realtor want to take a listing that they couldn't sell? Why would they ever? Because they're not going to make any money if they don't sell.
It's getting your foot in the door, because they know once they've got you under contract that there's a good chance they'll work through it, and we'll just do price reductions, and we'll get there eventually. But as long as I beat out those other, say you're interviewing 3 agents, you want to be the one that gets it. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely a trap that people can fall into. Is that, well, that guy must, regardless of market knowledge, but that guy must really like my house. Like, there's all sorts of justifications you can come up with, and logically, and I understand why sellers get there, but they think that that's the person. That guy obviously thinks my house is worth, and it could be, we've seen like $100,000 sometimes, and it's definitely, it can be a trap for sure.
That's interesting too, what you just said. That guy likes my house. I feel like that becomes a major deciding factor a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Like, well, he seemed to really be emotionally invested, and usually that means he thinks my house is worth more money than the other ones do.
I know we all have like a pretty straightforward approach, and we're not. You say you don't want to blow smoke, but oftentimes we're in these appointments, and when we're up against people, we just want to make sure that you have all the information here, so that you can make that decision. And and it's just one of those things.
Well, one of those things too, like, let's say you've hired 3, or not hired, you're interviewing 3 competent realtors. You've brought in the New West guys, you've brought in Geoff, and you've brought in some other dude.
Or lady.
And 2 out of the 3 people tell you a similar number, and a third one is like, I think I can get $100,000 more than those other people said. I don't know. My mom always told me if it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, logic would kind of dictate that you're like, that doesn't sound off if those other people, because usually people, I mean, there's never an exact selling price. It's always a bit of a range. But if one person is just, 2 are kind of consistent and one is way out to lunch, then there could be an issue there for sure. Yeah,
and I don't also want to give sellers the wrong idea that, oh man, my realtor asked me for a price reduction. He must have bought my listing, or she. Thanks, Matt. Because it's a sliding market right now. Things are getting worse. It's very possible that the number you gave was the best number you could come up with at the time, but the market is changing. Like, price reductions are a part
Always changing.
of selling homes. It's just when you go in knowing that that price never had a chance. That's pretty dirty to me.
Yeah, so I mean that is hard to know. It's hard to identify. Every situation is different. So I think that's a fair point, Geoff, that no one should assume that that's necessarily what's happening with every